Little Book. It looks like Booker's, but it's not. It's close because it's family related. What is it? Who is it? Find out with us on this episode of Savor the Burn. Welcome to this episode of Savor the Burn. My name is Jonathan. Of course, this is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Man, I'm excited.
Yes, this has been a great night. If you've been watching the previous episodes, you know we've done the Jim Beam single barrel. We have done the lineage, the father-son project.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, right. Between Fred No and Freddie No. Freddie.
And that's
Freddie.
a Jim Beam product.
Jim Beam product. If you don't like Jim Beam, I don't know, maybe try something other than the white label and see if you're either wowed or at least impressed in some way. Like, well, you know what? This is not what I expected because Jim Beam white label is so Jack Daniels plain old offering.
And let's be
black
real.
label.
How good could a $15 bottle really be?
Right. I mean, you got your expectations set at the wrong parameters.
I mean,
you want high expectations on an entry-level bourbon? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, reality check yourself, guys, gals, theys and them.
On the other hand, for a $15 bottle, can you go wrong?
It's a great mixer for a whiskey and Coke. For me, it's okay. It's okay now since Black Label. It's okay neat. It's still got all the things that I end up looking for in a bourbon. It's got a few different flavors on the nose, the palate, and the finish.
This is probably going to drink a little differently, though.
This is definitely going to drink differently because this is not well, anyway, you've seen the Bookers. This looks similar because it's from the same family. Freddie No, 8th generation master distiller at Jim Beam Distilling Company. Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to this.
If you want to split hairs, Jim Beam is the product of the James Beam Distilling Company.
It is, yeah. So if you want to get all heated with us, definitely send us all your hate emails at info@savortheburn.com, W2@savortheburn.com, Jonathan, Jonatha, and Joe Nathan at savortheburn.com.
And that was a revelation I had this week doing a little bit of research on that. Is
2 separate websites.
Is the fact, when you start doing your Googles and figuring things out, you see that there is a
doing the Googling.
There's a jimbeam.com, there's a jamesbeamdistillingcompany.com.
Yeah.
jamesbeamdistilling.com.
It's a whole thing.
So there's 2 different websites, and the reason why that there are 2 different websites is James Beam Distilling is the distillery, and Jim Beam is one of many brands that fall underneath that umbrella. Little Book is one of those brands that falls underneath that, just like Booker's, just like Knob
Baker
Creek,
7, Knob Creek.
Baker 7.
We talk about Legend.
Because there's Baker 7, there's also a Baker's 13.
Oh, there's a Baker's 13?
There's a Baker's 13.
Oh. It's probably a lot better than the Baker's 8 years, 6 month.
I'm keeping an eye out.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that.
It's a little harder to find.
Well, clearly.
But tonight is our adventure into Little Book. And that's something that we have not tried yet. Well, I have not tried it. You tried Book 6. I tried Book 6 when I was at the distillery just a few last month.
And that's where you got this bottle. And this is Book 8. And each book has a different title. This one here
is chapter.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's Little Book, but each expression is actually given a chapter number. This is chapter 8.
8. And it's called... Is it The Path or just Path?
Path Not Taken.
It's just called Path Not Taken.
What does the tag say?
Path Not Taken. It says something right before that, though. Oh, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken.
There you go. Shall we just get into it?
Yeah. You get into it. And,
I'm gonna do some reading. You go ahead and pull that rip cord.
You want me to open this thing?
Absolutely.
Okay. No pressure.
No pressure.
It's just a bottle of whiskey.
It's for the podcast.
Just a bottle of... It's just a bottle of whiskey.
It's just a bottle of whiskey.
Hail Mary, full of grace. Anyway.
I am excited. Actually, I am. I'm going to do a pause before I get into this because I want to watch you pull this open because I'm excited a bit at how generous of a pull tab.
So it's better for the camera.
Yeah. They really gave us a great pull tab, so it should be an easy. Oh, is that natural cork?
Nah, don't get your hopes up yet. We've seen cork that looked natural.
All right.
But it had a little bit of the had a little bit of the fluid in there. It's got the filament tape on the pull tab, so it's good.
I think more and more bottles that do the wax dip has started to do that, just because it makes it a lot easier to get through the wax.
Yeah, the wax is a good, solid, healthy coating of wax.
Dude, do it. Pop it.
Here we go. You hear it crack?
It's composite.
Okay. But look, it's pitted like natural cork.
That's why I was like, oh my God, is that actual natural cork? It's fine. It's totally fine.
This is 100% a first for me. I've never seen composite cork that has pits in it like natural cork does. So they took the superior product and put the... I don't know, the essence or whatever of natural cork in there. That's a really cool detail. I'm kind of wowed by that. That's kind of cool.
All right, so you pour us up.
I got my grubby fingerprints.
So I'm going to read a little bit on this. So this is Little Book, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken. There is no age statement on this, and I will tell you why there is no age statement on this here in a little bit. This is a blend, so I'm just going to leave it at that. The cooperage on this is fire-charred New American white oak barrels. Mm-hmm. This comes in at 118.2 proof. So we're a little bit hotter than some of the other ones that we've done.
Not as hot as the Bookers.
Well, no.
But this is Freddie's brainchild.
This is Freddie No's personal project. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Booker No, which is now, thank you, sir, is now overseen by Fred No, Freddie's father. Mm-hmm. This is Little Book because when Booker No first started the Booker project, Freddie No was a little guy running around the distillery, and he was referred to as Little Book. So there it is.
What? That was his nickname as a wee lad. Wow, how about that?
So, named in honor. Here we go. Named in honor of the nickname Freddie's granddad Booker gave him.
Wow.
Little Book is an annual whiskey series featuring new, unique blends. A first for the family. Uncut, unfiltered, and always one of a kind. Each limited release offers Freddie the opportunity to follow his curiosity to create a new taste profile greater than the sum of its parts.
Okay.
From each spirit's mash bill and age to where they were stored in the rack house. There are a million decisions that go into the final blend. The possibilities are endless, which is good because Freddie has no intention of stopping anytime soon. Knowing that rye has roots extending to the beginning of American whiskey and holds more than 2 centuries of heritage, you could say it's been done. But with this chapter, Path Not Taken, we explore the future of American rye by blending a unique range of rye whiskeys together and show you that rye still has plenty of story left to tell. Path Not Taken is about reimagining the variety that rye grain has to offer and pushing the limits of what it can be. We look across America's oldest whiskey frontier from a new vantage point and create a complex, redefined, and differentiated profile by blending ryes of different age, char, and mash bill. So to get into why there is no age statement on this, this is a blend. Are you ready for this? This is, and I'm going to start from youngest and go to oldest because this is crazy. This starts with a 4-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey. This then goes to a 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey, Pennsylvania family style char 4. I am not sure what that means, but that's what it says. Another 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey, Pennsylvania family style char 1. Then we go to another 5-year straight rye whiskey, Kentucky family style char 4. Then we have a 7-year Kentucky Straight Rye Malt Whiskey.
Holy shit.
An 11-year Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. And then we're finishing this off with not finish, but in this blend, there is an 18-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey that's high rye. So it's still high rye, but it's actually a straight bourbon that's 18 years. So everything from 4 years to 18 years. So they're not going to put an age statement of 4 years on here because that's the low man on the totem pole, because the pedigree has an 18-year in this blend.
When you're the kid and you have keys to the candy store and you know what the fuck you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you use those real quick to reset the palate. I actually did pick up a couple of different things here on the nose when I hit.
Look at that color.
When I hit those coffee beans.
I mean, looking at that color, the 18, 11, 7, 5. Yeah, that's got some age on it.
I forgot to give it a swirl earlier. Right off the top. Malted barley.
Man.
Malted barley. And I'm picking up sourdough.
Malted barley and malted rye.
I'm not barley. God dang it. Malted rye. I wrote down malted rye and sourdough.
The sourdough. Absolutely sourdough.
You picking up the sourdough?
Absolutely sourdough.
Because Jennifer loves
and rye bread.
Her English rye bread, sourdough, English muffins, and
there is so much rye on this.
Yeah, let me write that down.
And I can actually pull a little bit of that bourbon caramel sweetness. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of that classic caramel vanilla sweetness.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not caramel sweetness. It's bourbon caramel.
It's a bourbon caramel.
Yeah.
Vanilla sweetness wrapped around all of this rye explosion. Wow.
Yeah. So we both hit wow.
That's
we hit wow on a couple different levels.
That is fresh sourdough and fresh rye bread. Maybe
and it's so sweet though. What is that sweet? It's not just the bourbon caramel. Is
that maybe a toffee?
I don't know, man. It's like
a little bit of a honey.
Yeah, it's like wildflower honey.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so potent for wildflower. So like when it comes to honey, you've got clover honey, which is the more sweet, more kind of potent sweetness of the honeys.
Okay.
But then you have wildflower honey, which is a smoother, less sweet, but still very sweet because it's honey.
I've never gotten this on a rye before, but I've heard Tim refer to it a few times. Is there a hint of dill on that?
Dill. The second you said it, I smelled it. Yeah.
There's a little bit of dill right there. Dude, I'm ready.
Hang on, let me write. I got to write dill because I already... Dill. Let's hit this on the palate.
Look how thick those legs are.
Dude, yeah. I mean, fucking thick.
Mmm.
The rye bites the tongue. It doesn't arrest the tongue. It's so smooth. It's so...
Wow.
That finish is like drinking a glass of wine.
There's a rye bite to this, but that is the gentlest, softest Kentucky hug you could ever think of.
It's like...
There's no burn heat from this.
Fuck, man, we got to go into the weeds on this real quick.
Yeah, dude, go.
Palate. What are you tasting on the palate? I mean, let's get nerds. Let's go into the weeds on this. What are you getting on the palate?
Well, first off, as much rye and high rye that 18-year bourbon is in this blend, there is so much bourbon sweetness on this.
Yeah.
When it hits the palate, that caramel gives way to more of a butterscotch to me.
Butterscotch? Mm-hmm. I was going to say vanilla. Are you picking up vanilla?
I'm gonna go farther and say vanilla bean.
Vanilla bean. Okay. We've hit vanilla bean specifically.
Yep.
I want to say a couple times.
Wow. Yeah, there's definitely a dill spice in there with the rye.
All right, on the palate, or does it show up on the finish? Like nose, because I think dill shows up nose and finish. I'm not 100% sure if it shows up on the palate.
I'm not to the finish just yet, but on the palate, I've got sourdough, rye bread, and pumpernickel bread.
So and pumpernickel.
So it's got a little bit of coriander in there, maybe.
Pumpernickel, coriander. Which coriander is the seed of the cilantro plant.
There is I'm getting some barley on there, so somewhere in some of these mash bills, there's definitely some barley floating around. A lot of barley, actually, because I'm getting those grassy notes.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So that's a malted barley.
All right, and that's back here on palate.
Dude, this is straight fucking good.
All right, so finish.
All right, now the finish.
I'm getting like English black tea.
Okay.
The grassy notes that you were talking about. Vanilla.
I'm getting a little bit of that licorice on the finish.
You're getting licorice. Okay. Okay. And I say licorice and spice. Not like jalapeno spice, but it seems like anytime we talk about spice, unless it's tequila, we're talking baking spices.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So far I've got English tea.
And that's definitely that's definitely vanilla.
Not just any black tea, but English tea for me, it hits different. English tea, black English tea.
Yep, a black tea.
Grassy notes.
Maybe an Earl Grey black.
Yeah, English tea, Earl. I'll write down. I guess it's EAL, not ERAL.
Holy smokes!
I don't know if you'll be able to read through my whiskey. Licorice and spice, and what's the sweetness? Is it caramel? Is it honey? I think it's honey.
I think there's a touch of harmony.
Maybe both, honey and caramel.
I'm getting caramel. Yeah, I'm getting caramel with a touch of honey.
Okay.
Man,
I think that's this Booker's or Little Book. I mean, you're giving Michter's 10 a run for its money. I don't know, dude. I have no complaints about any of this.
This is really good.
This might be my second 10.
So what's cool about this bottle?
This might be my second 10. Let me keep thinking about it. I've still got
first off
half a pour.
I looked at this earlier. Look how clean that looks.
Yeah, for unfiltered.
Yeah.
How is it that clean for unfiltered?
And I don't know what. I don't have a bottle out here to compare it to, but there is something about this particular glass bottle that just makes this. It looks special. Mm-hmm. Aside from, I love the diagonal label, which I think is genius because if it's off a little bit, no one's gonna know because it's at a diagonal, and it's.
I see that. Yeah,
it's put on there in a way that's meant to look haphazard. I
would not have said haphazard, but I don't know how else to explain it.
The wax seal with the medallion, I think, is beautiful.
Yes.
The ribbons, which you can see, are actually put around the top of the neck and then come straight down center stage. You've got this beautiful black wax dip, which so do the Bookers.
Yeah.
But like I said, that pull tab, beautiful, very generous pull tab. I assume it was an easy pull.
It was an easy pull, like So we've done Blanton's before, and I if I remember right, Blanton's has like a cord.
It does.
Like a little a super tiny rope is what I'm calling a cord. It has a core
versus
a cord to pull. This is a flat filament tape kind of thing. I mean, it's super strong, and it's not gonna rip. It's not gonna fail you when you're trying to pull the pull it. It's gonna work. It's gonna go all the way 360 around it.
So check this out. Yeah, the medallion says "Little Book crafted by Freddie No." Mm-hmm. I mean, his fucking name is right
his
there.
His name's on it. And
but where I was going with all this is
we haven't talked about this.
The neck tag.
Yeah.
Everything about it is super, super premium. Mm-hmm. This is an elastic, like a hairband with a little metal ball on the end of it. Mm-hmm. This is a super thick.
Is that leather? What is that?
It's not leather, but it's just a real thick cardstock.
Okay.
It's got the
so much
this label on here. Yeah. It has everything that I read previously with all the different blends. It's got the entire blend on the neck tag.
Blend bill. It's not a mash bill. It's a blend bill.
Yeah. But there's
still that little something that smells like Jim fucking Beam.
You think so?
On the nose, yeah. And I still don't know.
You're definitely the one that would know that.
What that one? what that one thing is? I mean, I don't know. But
I love this, like it. But I don't know if I would say, "Yep, that's Jim Beam."
Yeah, it smells like, for me. To each their own, honestly, 100%. Like, dig what you dig.
Absolutely.
You know, dig what you dig. If you don't like Jim Beam, you don't like Jim Beam. That's fine. You may like this, you might hate it. Anywhere in between, it doesn't really matter. Because like Corey Taylor said, and I've said 100 times now, dig what you dig. You know, if you like it, cool. If not, there's so much other stuff out there. I mean, there's High and Wicked. There's, Michter's. There's Balcones. There's... there's just so much. There's fucking Crown Royal. I mean, there's Canadian whiskeys that we haven't even talked about. There's Scotch. Switch gears and go Scotch. There's tequila. There's gin. There's vodka. There's all kinds of stuff. And, if you don't like whiskey, if you don't like harder spirits, if you like beer, there's so many fucking beers out there. How many beers have you tried on your app? Well, it was in the hundreds. There's like 300 and something. 1,000? 3,000?
My next milestone's 5,000, so I've still got a ways to go. But yeah, I'm right around. I'm right around 3,000. Those are just the ones I've checked in since downloading the app.
And you've got one more tonight because I brought you that Hulk Hogan beer.
It's because of the podcast.
It's for the podcast. It's for the podcast.
It's beer, but hey, it's for the podcast. Yeah. I'm trying to get us caught up. Woo! As Ric Flair would say.
Woo! Trying to keep it toned down a little bit because little man's probably trying to sleep. All right, let me hit the palate once again. This is me. Everybody's got their own individual palate. Everybody's different. This is me.
Dude, this is really good.
Where's the fucking bite? Was it there do you remember on first pull? Was there a bite on the first pull? There had to have been because it's rye. I don't remember.
I initially described it as a gentle, soft Kentucky hug.
Yeah, it's I would say that.
It is for 118 proof, you're going to get some heat, but
holy smokes.
I mean,
our scores are going to reflect what our personal thoughts and opinions are on this bottle on this day at this time. No, you're not.
Why not? Let's open it up. I felt like doing this. I felt like doing this for the lineage. Actually,
give me half the water that you put in yours because I'm about half what you have left.
So on on some of the information that I got, we read that adding a couple drops really opens it up, and I 100% believe that is true in a lot of cases. I
don't believe that in Lineage.
I felt for Lineage,
I'm skeptical.
Adding the water did not
definitely tell it proved it down.
I enjoyed it way more before I added the water.
As was.
Yeah. As intended. There we go.
There you go.
I gave you 3 drops. Exact.
There you go. Get that good and stirred.
As Faith would say, give that a J swirl.
A what?
What did she say?
I don't know.
An SJ.
SJ.
A swirl job. That's what Faith said on one of her review videos. She said, I'm going to give this an SJ.
Okay, I do remember that. And guys, thank you so much for that. That was so cool. You added water to this, and now I smell peanuts. What the fuck?
Jim Beam.
It still smells like Jim Beam.
According to some people, that's synonymous.
Yeah, according to some people, I don't know how many comments we got, but on the 3 different whiskey groups that I posted those pictures in, but it's not just the post that I made, but there have been other posts where people say that Jim Beam products taste like peanuts to them. Like it has a peanut note across the board.
There is a peanut brittle on here.
Yeah, peanut brittle. Peanut brittle. I could see that. It's not like ballpark salted peanuts. So,
like I said, I felt the handful of drops in the Lineage. It didn't ruin it by any means, but I felt like it did not drink the same as it did by itself.
Right.
This, I think those couple of drops actually opens it up, and
oh, it does.
I mean, it rounds. It actually rounded out a little bit of that rye spice, and open it up. Yeah, I'm
tasting on the palate. I'm tasting less malted rye than I am regular rye. Whatever. I mean, I know there's 17 different phenai of rye, but the barley also steps more into the limelight than the rye.
I don't think I read this earlier, but the tasting notes I did pull from this, and this is actually from Little Book's website for this expression. It says color deep copper with golden undertones. Sure, I don't disagree with that. Complex on the nose, aroma, smell. Complex blend of butterscotch, fresh dill, and toasted rye bread.
All right, so we got the rye bread. We got the dill. I did not pick up
butterscotch.
I did not pick up my butterscotch.
No, but we did. We picked up some caramel and vanilla, and butterscotch is right there in the wheelhouse of caramel and vanilla.
In the wheelhouse, maybe not the ballpark, but definitely the wheelhouse.
So flavor, taste, and palate: floral notes.
Nope.
Intermingled with sweet apricot and heavy oak. I don't get apricot.
I don't get apricot. I don't get heavy oak. I don't get heavy oak.
There's a little bit of oak there, but it's definitely not a heavy oak.
You know what? Our first impressions, nothing here.
I don't think oak was anywhere.
There's no oak in anything. I mean, I've got nose, palate, and finish. Oak doesn't even register.
Oh, that was straight vanilla custard.
Oh, with the water added.
Now that we've added a couple drops of water,
it does
on
change
the palate. It changed the caramel vanilla changes to a vanilla custard.
Mm-hmm. So that's something I've been kind of thinking about lately when it comes to proofing something down for the sakes of sale and mass distribution. You have to do what you have to do to get it down to 80 proof or 90 proof
90,
or 93 or 100 or whatever it is that you're trying to do for mass distribution. I get it. I understand. I can't help but think those are for your basic offerings. Those are for your basic offerings. Your 90 proof, your tavern strength. If you're just going to go up to a random bar and ask for a random whiskey and cola kind of thing, you're going to get what you're going to get, and it's going to be that. But this, thank fuck, it's not filtered in any way.
This is special.
And it's not proofed down. I call it watered down, but it's not proofed down. Because, you know, there's a difference in that terminology, proofed down and watered down. When somebody says watered down, it generally gives you the feeling mentally that it's just, it's like the Diet Coke version of something. Like
it's diluted.
It's diluted. You know, and diluted has a bad connotation, the same bad connotation that watered down. Voice crack, whiskey has to me. So, and I don't want anything watered down. I don't like my art watered down. I don't like, you know, I don't like my whiskey watered down. I don't want my relationships watered down. I want it to be 100% what it is, even if it is at that time. I mean, because timing is everything. Just like realty, house selling or whatever is location. So many of these things are timing related. And with whiskey, throughout history, if you've studied whiskey, then you know that so much of American, anyway, whiskey history coincides with just plain American history. We found that out through Michter's and several others. What was it? Kentucky Owl, where they had the rick house, the warehouse, or whatever, it was on fire on the label, but out in the river you saw all these barrels on a flat raft, and they're doing the old stick thing like Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, just moving shit down the river. I like my experiences. Like I like my whiskey to be uncut and unfiltered. I just want it to be exactly what the artist intended it to be. And this, Freddie Booker, Mr. 8th Generation Master Distillery, he knows what he's doing. And this wowed me on all fronts. I haven't done the second nose yet, but it looks like I'm just about ready for second nose. But until that comes, let me know what you gave it on the nose.
I gave it a 4 3/4.
I gave it a 5. I was wowed. It had so many different things on the nose and still remained true to that Jim Beam experience. I was surprised that when we popped the cork, the composite cork, I'll leave that shut. Made to look like a natural cork.
Yeah, I mean, looking right here in this little, it looks like that's a natural cork.
And we've seen it. We've done, I don't remember who it was now, but we've done it. It was a composite cork, but it had a little bit of the juice up there by the cork, so it looked like maybe it was a natural cork. We pull it and it's composite. It's not dick in the dirt. It's not a total fucking letdown. It's just like, oh, that's weird. I thought it was natural cork. That's as far as it goes. No, so you put the cap back on it. It is what it is. Whatever. But yeah, this is unique. I've never seen a composite cork look or try to impersonate natural cork. I think that's totally unique. Just on the cork, I was fucking wowed. Like, what the fuck? Who gets wowed by a cork? This guy. Who's got 2 thumbs and gets wowed by a cork? This guy. Edit that how you will. Yeah, so I gave that a 5 on the nose. You gave it a 4 3/4 on the nose. How about the palate?
I stuck with 4 3/4.
Stuck with 4.
And that could have very, very, very easily been a 5. The palate was fantastic. For nose and palate, I bumped it down just a smidge because I did get a little bit of that ethanol burn intermixed.
You did?
Just a little bit.
It's weird because
I talked about the soft, gentle Kentucky hug.
Yeah.
But especially on the nose, I did get a little bit of an ethanol burn. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
You did? Wow.
Kind of creeping in there.
Huh. I did not. Not until we added the water.
Okay.
counterintuitive as far as I'm concerned. But I had that experience back with a lineage when we put the water in. I was like, that's weird. I didn't expect that, and I don't know why that happened.
Yeah,
if you're
really
a scientist, an alchemist of any kind, please, if you have any theories as to why that could be, leave us a comment wherever it is that you're listening and or watching this. That said, my palate was a 5.
Okay.
I gave that a 5. I didn't get the burn. I got the bite of a rye. But, I mean, that's to be expected. Like you said, we got 18-year rye, 11-year rye, 7-year, 5-year, 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 4-year.
The 18-year is the straight bourbon. High rye.
Shit. Yeah,
High rye.
Yeah, you're right.
So...
Yeah, everything under that, though. 11,
all the
7,
sweetness
5,
we're getting,
5, 5, 4.
All the sweetness we're getting is from that 18 bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And I picked up notes as time went on. I didn't write it down, but I did pick up notes between malted barley, which is after they'll take the grain and they'll soak it in water, and once it starts to sprout, they'll drain it of the water, and then they'll throw it in with the sugar and the yeast to make the mash to ferment. And so that's what malted means. They let it sprout a little bit. So I picked up on some malted rye and a little bit of malted barley, I think. It doesn't say it in there, but I swear I picked up a lot of malted rye, a little bit of malted barley, and also plain rye and plain barley. So this is a hell of a fucking blend.
I want to read a couple things.
Yeah.
So the little book label, and I imagine this is on every little book because it's right underneath the name. In a handwritten font, it says, "I created Little Book as an honor to my grandfather, Booker, and our shared love for creating unique blends to share with the world." And then over here on the side, it says, I accidentally clanked because, well, it's Jim Beam. So there you go. On the side, it says, as the 8th generation master distiller, Fred B. No Distillery.
He's got his own thing.
Yeah, apparently.
Maybe.
Freddie No pays homage to his grandfather, Booker, by naming his first spirit Little Book. That's the name Booker gave him, and now this spirit, just the kind of whiskey Booker would have loved, is what Freddie's giving back.
So he lives to give it back.
It comes down to, it's all about family.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all about family and paying the homage and the respect.
Yeah. That's so cool. What did you give it on the finish?
4 3/4.
4 3/4. Okay. Am I sensing a pattern? The pattern's going to be broken when we hit
the pattern's going to be broken here in a second. Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you give it a 4 3/4 versus a 5? What I gave it? I gave it a 5.
Yeah. That's a great question. I thought the finish was great. Mm-hmm. It actually is a longer finish than the lineage, and I enjoyed everything about it. I just felt it was just on par with everything else. So I just
par with everything else. Not everything else has a wow.
Well, my nose, palate were both 4 3/4.
You know what? Your nose had a double wow.
So I was on par with all my other ratings. So
I don't know if your finish had a wow. Did your finish have a wow? Mine did.
Everything about
it's your rating. I mean, I'm not going to talk.
No, everything about this bottle is a wow.
Okay.
And 4 3/4 to me is still a wow.
I'll take it. The bottle presentation.
Oh, it's a 5 all day long.
It's 5 all day long. Same here.
I mean, if you were going to split hairs, I feel like, there's nothing on the back, but I feel like there's so many other things that come with this that elevate it beyond the Booker's.
Booker's has the little info card.
It does have an info card,
a tag,
but that has and it's not. It's not just a tag. I mean,
I've never seen a blend bill before.
It's a blend build. You got it's an elastic string with the little copper metal clasp on the end of it,
and the medallion.
And that little wax medallion, I think is a great touch.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's really cool.
It's top notch.
It's like he gave homage to the.
It's a 5+
family tradition.
It's a 5.
He gave homage to family tradition, and he also put his own personal stamp on it. Freddie, you know what you're doing.
Yep.
And I respect that.
Jim Beam is in good hands.
Jim Beam is in great hands. You say good, I say great. That's just the difference between W2 and Mr. JH.
And honestly, when it comes down to it, we mean the same thing.
Do we?
We do.
All right. Yeah. So bottle presentation was a 5 for both of us. What did your final score end up being?
9 5/8. 9.625.
For me, this was my second 10.
Actually,
that was wild. Well, I said this is my second 10. You dropped jaw, and then thunder hit.
I didn't drop jaw. I mouthed wow.
Wow. Okay, dude.
However, I'm going to take that back because I'm not wowed by that.
You know me.
It makes sense.
It makes sense because I'm a fan of Jim Beam.
But a year and a half into this,
I didn't even give Lineage a full 10.
A year and a half into this, we got our first unanimous 10 just a few weeks ago. And then now your second 10, mine's 9 5/8. That's
super close. It's not there.
That's close. That's really close.
It's what is that? A quarter point away from a 10?
3/8 of a point. Yeah.
3/8 of a point. What is you said? 5/8. 5/8, 7/8, 1.
Yeah, 3/8.
3/8. Okay, I thought 2/8 was a quarter. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Well, 2/8 is a quarter.
Okay,
this is 3/8.
5/8, 6, 7, 8, 9.
5/8 means there's 3/8 to have a full point.
You're ruining my experience with your math talk.
Just saying, whiskey.
Anyway, so yeah, you're at 9 5/8, which is a super fucking high score.
If you have the opportunity to see it, even if it's not chapter 8, right tonight is chapter 8. If you see at your local liquor store a little book and it's in your price range,
right,
grab it. My loving wife, we started this family vacation in Louisville, which was over Father's Day week, starting the weekend of Father's Day and continuing on. Beforehand, my wife, she's like, would it be cheating or would it not be the same if I just buy you a bottle of whiskey you really want while we're in Louisville instead of getting you a Father's Day present beforehand?
No, that becomes the Father's Day present.
I was just like, no, that sounds fantastic. So
that's how I got Horse Soldier. That we have yet to check out.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I think that's a great idea. So as we were kind of our adventures were unraveling, she's like, don't forget, I'm getting you a Father's Day bottle while we're out and about. And so we got to Jim Beam, and she's like, which one do you want? And I'm like, well, I'm getting...
It's Jim Beam. I don't fucking want any of it.
I'm getting these. I'm like, would Little Book be acceptable? It's a $160 bottle.
Which is fucking way past the normal price point of any bottle of.
It's definitely beyond your white label Jim Beam.
Right. You're talking $15 to $18.
But this is also a very, very different experience.
100% different. It's like night and day difference.
So
this is for people that you actually like and or love. Probably people that you actually love, not just like. You know, there is a difference. And
so thank you, baby. I appreciate this bottle of bourbon.
And I appreciate his bottle of bourbon.
And it's not a bottle of bourbon. It's a blended whiskey.
Full of rye that we both
Full of a lot
really
of rye.
enjoy.
Yeah.
So, do you have any closing thoughts on this bottle?
I ain't mad at this bottle at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I like it.
So far, all I have written down here is with this being the Freddie No exclusive project, we didn't really know what to expect. From nose to finish, we both had wow experiences.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to hear and or probably see what it is that you folks have as far as experiences go with the Path Not Taken 2024 release of Little Book. Please let us know. Send us send us emails. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think because this is very unique as far as ryes go, as far as any whiskeys go that we've tried, I think. And I just I really press you to find a better blended rye whiskey than this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no matter what it is that you're drinking, no matter who it is that you're with, no matter where it is that you're drinking these things, never forget.
Keep on burning.